So in this episode, what I'm going to cover is kind of a follow-up to non-telegraphic striking. And one of the things I want to show is how it really works in a real situation. In other words, a lot of times in a street fight or an altercation, when people start really mixing up, people are winding up and they're throwing haymakers or whatever, or they're throwing strikes and they're withdrawing the hand. And the only problem with that is, if I throw a strike, say like a jab, and I retract the hand, but I stay at this distance, from here to here now, I've created this separation between myself and the other guy. Plus, of course, people move. And so the idea of non-telegraphic striking really is to get the drop on the other guy. So remember, a self-defense situation is different from a sport fight where there are rules and everybody's kind of agreed to stay within a certain parameter. So when I'm throwing a non-telegraphic strike, say for example his hands are up or whatever he's doing, and I want to get the drop on him, in the same way that I showed before, I'm going to be pushing from the legs, and wherever my hand is, I'm just going to go from that position and I'm going to drop it in. So for safety, obviously, I'm not going to hit him in the face. But if he's here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop that in, and without winding up, I'm just going to hit. The reason, again, I don't want to wind up is because when I start to move, whether my arm moves first or my body starts moving with it before my arm moves, he's going to be cueing off that movement. Okay, so his reaction time is his reaction time. And if I move my hand first or I wind up before I throw the strike, he's going to respond to that. He's going to react some kind of way. I don't want him to react any other way than to get hit. So I don't want to give it away. So what I'm doing is, as I'm here, I'm throwing the strike, I'm trying not to wind up. I'm trying to drop it in as fast as I can, as hard as I can. The other thing I'm doing is I'm trying to follow up, because I don't want to, again, give him space to be able to get back into the fight. Now, obviously, this is all in the chest. This is all demonstration speed. And so, of course, there's a lot more to it, where I can hit from different angles and doing different things. Hitting in the throat, hitting and driving underneath the chin, whatever I got to do. And you can play around with that and practice that on your bag, or practice that, even working with a partner. I only suggest that if you're working with a partner, use common sense. One of the things I see in videos all the time, because people are doing a demo so that people can see what's going on. You always get in the peanut gallery, people saying, well, that won't work or this won't work. The truth of the matter is, almost anything you do that you do with ruthless intention and you do with speed is gonna work, especially if you get the drop on them, because they still have to respond to what you're doing. So this is a way in which you can practice this. Again, as I'm moving, it doesn't matter where I'm gonna lead, or right lead, left lead, I'm just hitting, I'm going. Whatever I'm gonna do, I'm just moving from that position. If I throw a strike here and I want to then bring the uppercut, rather than wind up and throw the uppercut, I'm just going to step right in and hit. By driving from the legs, it allows me to bring my body in as quickly as possible. The other thing is, when I'm throwing a strike, let's say I throw a punch. Obviously, after I've thrown this punch, I got to now bring that hand back. And I'll cover this a little more when I talk about manipulating space. So what I'm going to do is, rather than do this and step in, I'm going to start stepping in as I pull the hand back. And what that does is, it just cuts down on the amount of distance that's between my fist and his face to send him off into the afterlife. Once again, it's not a hard thing to do, but you got to practice the skill. And in subsequent videos, I'll probably get into other things, but it's just something that, as you're practicing, you just want to make sure that you're trying to control as much unnecessary preparatory movement in your body as possible. Hey, thanks for watching the video. You know what you got to do. Hit the button below and subscribe.